As you can see from the trial tomatoes, they are getting pretty dang tall. And they are way too big to be in those little Netcups. So I had to suspend greenhouse construction right now, and I'm going to start potting these up, and I'm going to set them in the greenhouse until it's finished. Okay, here are the soil components, or the potting mix components, for my self-watering containers that will go up against the hydroponic. And I wanted to discuss real quick what makes up my soil. I've got a wheelbarrow here with a rake to mix it. In this tall container here, I've got old potting mix from last year. It was stuff I made myself, and it's got various components in it similar to what I'm doing today, but I'm reusing last year's, and it's been solarized. What I've got in this container is sifted compost. I've done another video on that if you want to take a look at that. And also mixed in with that is a little bit of horse manure. In this one I have pine bark fines. It decays really slowly and provides some structure aeration to the mix, which is really important. Of course, I've got perlite, which usually is a component of most light soils or light potting mixes, container mixes. And up here I've got composted rice hulls, and I found those to be a real good deal for gardening, so I'm going to try them in containers. So I'll mix this together. 1/2 bucket of the compost with horse manure mixed. 1 full bucket of old potting mix from last year. 1 full bucket of rice hulls. 1/2 bucket of pine bark fines. And lastly, 1/2 bucket of perlite. Okay, I've showed you these buckets before. They've got holes in them all the way around for air pruning purposes, drainage. And on the bottom is a place for the Netcup, but we don't want these Netcups. We don't want the roots to come through there and go down into the water and stay in the water. So what we have to do is take a piece of landscape fabric and cut it to form a barrier. Okay, I've cut a couple pieces out now. I have 2 Netcups. I'm going to take one like so, fold it around, and insert it into this Netcup hole that I drilled into the bottom of this 5-gallon container. What you see now is what it looks like on the bottom from the inside and from the outside. And I will do my second one. These 2 I've chosen to be Brandy Boy because they're the blue ones, and the only 2 pots I made that were blue. There's the second one. I've placed both of those blue buckets on 2 4x4s that were left over from my fence project, my good neighbor fence. And now we're going to mix the soil that I just showed you together. You want to get a good mix with this, get it all combined evenly. The purpose of container soil is to be light and airy. Unlike the ground, it doesn't do as well in containers. So as the natural organic matter in this decomposes, what happens is that it starts to compact a little bit, and when it compacts, it fills all the air space up, and the plants start doing poorly because they can't get the oxygen that they need. So they actually literally start drowning. So the components that I added that would help keep it airy and not break down so fast were the perlite, obviously. That's inorganic. The composted rice hulls, they're extremely slow to break down. And last are the pine bark fines. And of course, we don't want to waste last year's potting soil, so instead of adding peat, I used last year's potting soil mix, which has a lot of peat in it. Sphagnum moss is what I should say. Sphagnum peat moss. Okay, so here I'm going to fill up my 2 buckets. And with the first shovel, what you want to do is compact it down in that net cup really well, because that's going to be the beginning of the wicking process that sits down in the gutter and provides the self-watering benefits. So pack that down in there, and it also flattens down that felt some. Okay. I'm going to fill these about halfway full. And then I'm going to add the 2 brandy boys and fill it the rest of the way up. Okay, here's one of the brandy boys, and it's pretty leggy, as you can see, which is okay. It's actually kind of what I want. So I'm going to remove the leaves that are going to sit under the soil. Just pinch them off with my fingers. And then I'll take them out of the pots. Go ahead and take this one off. And look how long that thing is. Crazy how it grows in this cup. Alright, you see the root ball? Put that in here. Now, I'm going to add some soil. When I did the perlite ones, I also took the stems off. Everywhere that was under the perlite, and maybe a little some after. I want to pack this high for a couple reasons. One is all along the stalk, and everywhere that's under the soil will develop roots, mostly. That's what's unique about tomatoes. And also, you'll notice in future updates that as this stuff decays, the organic matter, it starts shrinking down. So I'll do the other one and I'll show you where I put it. Okay, I've got 6 potted up for the container trial. I got 2 brandy boys and 4 big beef right here in this gutter. They'll self-water from the bottom. And over here I've got the same thing in my hydroponic buckets I made. And the plants are fairly similar. I'd probably give the edge a little bit to the hydroponic tomatoes right now. They seem to be a little bit bigger, but not by much.